I have three sets of, or three collections of terms listed and want to start to navigate through what the greatest common factor looks like for these particular terms. And again, what I'm looking at is what's the largest chunk, the largest factor, the greatest factor that's common to each of the terms within a particular list. In this first list, list A, I have a 6x cubed and a 10x squared. So I have both variables and constants. I usually like to start with the variables first, and I want to look at, well, this one has an x cubed, an x times an x times an x. The other one has an x squared, x times x. So what's the most amount of x's that are common to both of those? X squared. Then I look at the constants, 6 and 10. What factors of 6 and 10 are common with each other? Well, I think just a 2. 2 is the only thing that's common to both of those particular constants. So I know that 2 is my greatest common factor within this term and that term. Therefore, 2x squared is my complete greatest common factor. All right, let's go on to the next one. I have a 15y cubed, a negative 9y to the fourth, and 27y to the y cubed, or y to the third. Let's start with our variables. Y to the fifth, y to the fourth, y to the cubed. The greatest common factor is my y to the cubed. And let me show you why that is a little bit. Let's see if I can kind of get this idea. Y to the fifth, that's the same thing as y to the cube times y squared. Y to the fourth also can be written as y cubed times y, and then I have a y cubed, which also can be written as just obviously itself, y cubed. So if I break it down that way, you can see that in each of these, what's common is y to the cubed, y to the third. And that's my highest, my greatest one. So y cubed is my greatest common factor. And then I have a 15, a negative 9, and a 27. What do you think? What's the greatest common factor between all those terms? Does 2 go into all of them? No. Does 5 go into all of them? No. Well, I get a sense that I think 3. 3 is the greatest common factor between each of those terms. Even that's a negative 9, 3 is still a common factor of negative 9. Then lastly, I have a combination of variables. X to the fifth, y cubed, x to the fourth, y to the fourth, x cubed, y squared. Let's just start with our y squared, or y's. Y cubed, y to the fourth, and y squared. Y squared is the largest or greatest common factor between each of those terms. Can't be y cubed because there is no y cubed here. This one is it would be disqualified from being part of it. And then we'll look at my x's. What's my greatest power of x that's common to each of the terms? X cubed.